So boys, getting my weekend kicked off here. It's 6:30 on Friday morning. Out here getting a wood burner lit up, keep the shop warm. So I'll probably come out in a couple hours and we'll get wrenching on the 810. You could pull the motor back out of the tank garage that I put in there. Oh well. Alright boys, so here it is. It's about 9 o'clock Friday morning here. Gonna get going on the 810. One night I went to Tractor Supply and I bought a battery and threw it in here and drove it back up into the shop. You can see it was muddy that night. But I got the motor pulled off. I made sure the clutch is bad before I was going in here. So yeah, got that going on. The only thing I did was pull the motor and drain the oil and take the seat pan off, which I think most of you guys could handle that part. So we'll get to pulling the hubs off here. I didn't look. I should have looked and made sure it wasn't welded. Yeah, not welded or anything, so we're good. Alright boys, I'm going to go stoke the wood stove up. And we'll get crack-a-lacking on this. I'll show you guys step by step what you need to do. Alright boys, so here's what I like to do when I do these transmissions. I like to jack the whole tractor up on the right hand side, just enough, you can get your foot underneath the tire. Not real high, just a little bit. It's enough to keep the oil in the transmission and everything. And block it up underneath the footrests of the frame. And a lot of times I'll block under the transmission too, just because I worry about the frame twisting. But this is my tractor, so if I twist the frame, I really don't care. Take a jack and line it back up. So, pretty much step one to the process. You've got the motor off the seat pan. Now you're wondering what to do. So, first step here, I'm going to take the tire off the hub. We'll take the hub off, and then we'll move on to all the linkage and stuff on the side of the transmission. We'll take the bolts off the top part of the frame and we will flip it forward out of our way. Then at that point, brake drum, the snap ring inside the clutch, or the clutch backer for the spring, and then the frame bolts, and then we can get to the transmission case. So without further ado, boys, I'm gonna prop you guys up on the stand, and I'm gonna get crack-a-lacking here. I'll let you guys watch most of the way unless I run into something. The only thing that's going to be different about this, because this is a roughly 1973 tractor, so first 2 years they made 8-speed transmissions. I see there is an E-clip for the brake drum, which that's odd, because normally I'd say probably 99% of the ones you're going to work on are going to be threaded with a 5/16 nut. And this tractor also has keyed clutch shafts instead of splined, so that's going to look a little different, but we're going to pull her apart and make her work. And I want to leave this transmission original, or as original as possible, which means I'm just going to swap the PTO unless I see something really tore up. But I drove this tractor around. Everything sounded good, so we will let her be. So let's get after her, boys. This tractor doesn't have set screws in the hub. This tractor's original. And the hub is loose on the shaft, so normally this is the worst part of the job right here. The other thing I'm going to say you want to be careful of is there's just a snap ring that holds this axle into the diff. So if you're pulling this hub off and you're not going inside this transmission, you need to be careful. Because if you pull that snap ring off, you're going inside the transmission. So I would definitely recommend a puller. I figured this would slide off easier, so I'm going to use a puller, but keyway fell out. The keyway's beat up, but it's not terrible. I've seen a lot worse. Alright, so I got that done. I can clamp my happy butt down. And I think you guys can see everything I'm going to do. Hopefully I don't lock you too much. So what I like to go through and do is I'll grab all the bolts that are the same size, which right now 3/4 will do 98% of what I need to do right here. Okay. Watch and make sure the studs don't turn. Okay, we're good. Ah, see? Studs started turning on that one. You guys figured it. Yep. Almost to the end when the studs start to turn. It is getting further every time, so. There we go. Sometimes this takes a little bit of work, fellas. See where it's hanging up? Right at the end there? Out of that thing. So the main thing on the old style roller clutches is there's 3 rollers. 1, 2, 3. So when you pull this plate off, these rollers are going to drop. Don't matter what you do. Well, I got 2 out of 3 and the plate ain't bad. The plate's not worn bad either. That's good. Very nice actually. Not worn at all hardly. So, where's the other flathead screwdriver, guys? I don't see it, so I'll use my handy, not screwdriver, pin removal tool. Like that. Put that forward out of the way. Clutch can come off. It don't look worn too bad, but definitely could have used greased. Keyway on the other hand though, oh mama, is that worn? Hopefully you guys can see that. What I'll probably do is I will flip the key around when I put it in, and then that'll put the other side the other direction, but that definitely needs a new keyway, so I'm going to keep that in mind. I'll keep looking for those. Might be able to order those through Gravely yet. I don't know. Actually, looking at this one, I don't think it's a snap ring in this. In this one, being an early tractor. That must have been something they did later on. Oh, hey, there's my screwdriver. So let's pull this off. Ooh, and this brake shaft is actually keyed too, instead of instead of splined. Note to self, this had a washer behind it. I don't know if that was somebody's crude way of fixing it, I guess. Normally there's a pin here, so you don't have to worry about this. So, I just normally let that hang forward there. It's not going to be in your road or anything. So brake shaft, going to need a puller. My puller actually takes 3/4 as well, so that's kind of handy. The only thing unhandy is my puller is bigger. Puller is bigger than the shaft. I was hoping we'd get lucky and this will just come off. Probably not though. Well, I didn't count on that, guys. Alright. Nope. There's always something. Alright. While you guys are recording, we'll just pull the axle block. I wanted to bring my drill down and clean the axle shaft, but it's laying up on the bench. And this is when you start finding stuff somebody else has been into this transmission before. So you never know what you're going to find. Looks like RTV is going to be what we're going to find. This is how they would normally come apart. That other one was extraordinarily nice. There we go. Just like as I suspected, a little bit of RTV. Gasket came off in one piece though. Nice boys. Nice. So the brake drum needs to come off yet. This E-clip up here. Keep losing my screwdriver, guys. There it is. This E-clip is for the PTO shifter. Lucky I saw where that went. So good there. The frame needs to flip forward. A lot of times what I will do, guys, if I take the bolts off, they'll all go in a pile, like they all come off at one time, like I got the wheel bolts. You guys might be able to see it over here, I don't know. But I got like the hitch bolts are back here, seat pan bolt. Yeah, that's just the way I do stuff. You guys are more than welcome to do it however you want to. Let's see. So that's off. See if the last guy tightened this up very good. The answer is yep. So we're going to need a 9/16. I just loosen these up enough to let the frame pivot forward. You should be able to go like this. Normally if you had a soft fuel line, that would be out of the road, but since we don't, we're going to be dealing with that the whole time. Shouldn't be a super big deal, but it's something. We're going to leave the rest of this together for right now. Pull the clip out for the PTO, that won't hurt. So pretty much I get that brake drum off, we can start prepping to pull the cover off. And I'll show you guys that. So hold on, let me get that brake drum off. Alright, I know you guys won't be able to see this very well, so... But while everything is still attached to the frame, I forgot the ratchet end doesn't work on this wrench. Darn. Might as well break the PTO cover bolts loose. Just break them loose, and everything's attached to the frame so you don't end up torquing them. Doing the lower one right now. Did get the brake drum off. I had a smaller puller that worked on it. Okay. So the next part is the interesting part. This is the only time you'll ever use a 13/16 wrench on a Gravely. The only time that I know about is these the nuts on the front of the transmission bolts. Yep, you heard me right. Last guy must have just torqued on him. Wow. So let's see if we can Nope, I'm picking the whole tractor up. Oh, darn it. Or the bottom one? Stand on the axle. The bottom one came loose. This one though? There we go. Whew. Use all my 212 waffle power, guys. Wow. Top one's loose. Okay. Two things I want to bring up about these. One, these are acorn nuts. And the acorn needs to go towards the frame on these. That's actually what lines the frame and transmission together, and they're fine thread, so don't go losing them. I'm sure they're lug nuts off of something. Don't know what. So, loose enough I can hold the nut by hand. I guess the other thing I'm going to tell you guys, be mindful of, is when you take these bolts out, this transmission can drop. I don't think this one's going to, but you figure gravity is a very cruel force. So, it never stops either. Should buy a right angle impact. Speed this up a lot. Okay. Transmission did not really drop on this, guys. So, I'm going to take all the case bolts out, and I'll leave the top three for you guys to see, and then I'll sit you guys in a nice spot and we'll pry her open and see what falls out at us. Alright, here we go.